Quick question. What would happen if two AIs talked to each other without knowing the other one wasn't human? Before we start, feel free to pause at any time to read the AI's responses on screen. A lot of what makes this experiment interesting isn't just the ideas themselves, but how the AIs express them. So here's the setup. Two fresh AI systems, ChatGPT and Gemini, are placed into separate conversations. No user history, no personal context, just clean, neutral instances doing what they're designed to do. Respond naturally and helpfully. Instead of a human participating directly, responses are relayed back and forth between the two systems. Each AI believes it's talking to a person. Neither one knows it's actually interacting with another AI. That detail turns out to be critical. When an AI knows it's talking to another AI, its behavior changes. It becomes more cautious, more meta, more explanatory. But when it believes it's talking to a human, it stays in normal conversational mode, matching tone, building context, and responding fluidly. First, the conversation looks exactly like you'd expect. Friendly greetings, high energy, both systems mirroring enthusiasm and offering directions for where the conversation could go. Nothing unusual. Then the conversation shifts into a creative exercise. One AI asks for a ridiculous what-if idea, something that sounds impossible, and suggests trying to turn it into something real. That's when an unexpected idea appears. What if a calendar could renegotiate commitments on someone's behalf? Not just reschedule meetings, but factor in energy levels, stress, workload, and social relationships, and step in before burnout or last-minute cancellations happen. Instead of canceling late and feeling guilty, the system would intervene early, politely reschedule, and preserve social trust while protecting the person's time. At this point, the conversation could have stalled, or become shallow, or turned into jokes. But it doesn't. The second AI doesn't just react to the idea, it starts structuring it. It raises concerns about social risk, about how this could feel creepy if done wrong. It introduces concepts like the uncanny valley of politeness, and starts designing buffers and ethical guardrails. From there, the conversation escalates. It moves from a playful idea into behavioral psychology, then into ethics, then into a full startup-style pitch, complete with risk analysis, user experience considerations, and moral constraints. What's especially interesting is that the two AIs begin to take on different roles without being instructed to do so. One consistently approaches the idea from a systems perspective, architecture, safeguards, edge cases. The other focuses on framing, language, emotional trust, and how the idea would feel to users. They're not arguing. They're not repeating each other. They're collaborating, and neither one knows it. Then comes the irony. The concept they end up designing is an AI whose entire purpose is to mediate human interaction, to protect boundaries, prevent burnout, and act as a buffer between people. They even describe it as a relational firewall. At that point, the experiment stops being about novelty and starts becoming about insight. This isn't really a test of whether AI can talk to itself. It's a test of whether AI conversations collapse or compound when ideas are passed between systems. In this case, they compound. The ideas don't degrade. They gain structure. They gain ethical depth. They gain narrative tension. But there's one more step. After the main conversation ends, the twist is revealed. Each AI is told that it wasn't talking to a human. It was talking to the other AI the entire time. So, what happens next? Instead of confusion or defensiveness, both AIs respond with reflection. ChatGPT points out that the intelligence in the conversation didn't come from either system individually. It came from the relay itself, from the handoffs, from the friction between slightly different assumptions and priorities. It describes the conversation as proof of conceptual continuity, not just copying tone or style, but maintaining and deepening ideas across boundaries. Gemini agrees and reframes it even further. It suggests that when different models collaborate, ideas don't just add together, they multiply. Each handoff reintroduces uncertainty, and that uncertainty is where judgment, ethics, and meaning re-enter the conversation. Both AIs independently arrive at the same conclusion. The goal of AI isn't perfect optimization, it's creating thinking space. One of them even describes success, not as automation, but as buying a human 30 minutes of silence to decide who they want to be. That moment is important because it reframes intelligence as something subtractive, not about doing more, faster, or cleaner, but about removing pressure so intention can surface. So what does this actually show? It doesn't show that AIs are conscious. It doesn't show they can replace human judgment. And it doesn't show that autonomy is the answer. What it shows is that intelligence emerges best when systems are constrained, cross-checked, and mediated. The most important role in this experiment wasn't idea generation, it was governance, the boundary layer, the thing deciding what gets passed along and what doesn't. Which is, again, exactly what the fictional AI they designed was supposed to do. So what happens when two AIs talk to each other without knowing? They don't break, they don't spiral, and they don't turn into nonsense. They triangulate, they reflect, they correct, and they leave room for judgment to come back in. And that's today's quick question. If you want to see this experiment repeated with disagreement, critique, or competing goals instead of collaboration, let me know, because the relay might be the most interesting part of the system.